What do you like?
Good. Okay, so first I'm going to start out with the story of a woman named Yvette Cade. And she was sitting at home one day, and her husband kept calling her, and this is what she said about the voicemails that he left her. She said he was leaving messages of how he wanted to have sex, and said that he wanted to fry me like Crisco grease. And Yvette called the police, like she was supposed to, and said that she had been threatened, and they came out and took a statement, and they told her that really that there was nothing they could do for her, so they left. And so she just went on to work, and her husband came to her work with a bottle of gasoline and poured it on her head and lit a match and threw it on her. So Yvette was in the hospital with burns on 60% of her body. She'll have permanent scars, and her husband got a life sentence, but he'll be paroled in 15 years. And he still calls her, he writes her letters, he harasses her, and I just think that it is my job to inform people of domestic violence, and I think it's the audience, your job, and everyone else's job to be aware of what's going on and to help victims of domestic violence. And so domestic violence is a problem, and the solution would be education and laws to prevent it. Domestic abuse is defined as one person of an intimate relationship dominating or controlling the other person, and when it gets physical, then that turns into domestic violence. A couple of statistics about domestic violence. One is that every 9 seconds a woman is assaulted or beaten in a relationship. And the instances of women getting injured by their partners in an act of domestic violence is greater than them getting injured in car accidents, muggings, and rapes. So it's really a big problem for this country. So how can we combat this problem? How can we fix it? I think the first solution would be to recognize when someone's being abused and know how that you can help them. So I think education should be implemented in all high schools, because most victims of domestic violence are teenagers, and that there should be more shelters for battered women and maybe free counseling for the women that go there. And also I think that there should be preventative laws, because many of the laws for domestic violence are what happens to the abusers after they have already assaulted a woman and after the woman is already in the hospital. So I think that lawmakers should make more preventative laws and also have harsher punishments for abusers after the act is already committed. And domestic violence directly affects the women of this country, so we should be doing everything we can to protect our women, and through education and laws, we can better help the women of this country.